Actually, we just received them 6 weeks ago, and we use them for Pinot Bianco and Gewürztraminer. So the whole idea about using those concrete eggs is you kind of want to use the advantages of a wooden fermentation where you have a little oxidation going on, and the efficiency and the cleanliness of stainless steel. So this is Pinot Bianco. As you can see, it's not fermented yet. It's right in the middle. We started out with 23 bricks, and we are now at 9.9. I would guess probably at around 8 bricks now. This is Pinot Bianco, which is also an Italian variety. You can see it's middle fermentation, but it tastes good.
So maybe you can explain to the viewer why it's so cloudy.
Well, because it is in the midst of fermentation. It's just converting, basically. The sugar gets converted into alcohol, and the yeast that is in there, it is stirred up, and fermentation is going. When you're looking down, you can see the bubbles just going up, and during that process, it's not clear.
Right.
And that's where we are right now, right in the middle of it.
And then how do you get it clear?
There's different ways, but it will settle. Once fermentation is over, it actually settles. The yeast settles to the bottom of the tank.
You just let it naturally settle to the bottom.
Yes. Yeah. You don't have to do nothing, then you just take it off. Okay. So this is Pinot Bianco, and now we're tasting Gewürztraminer. You can taste the difference a little bit between the two. Yeah.
What was the reason versus stainless steel to use a concrete egg?
You know, the idea is to get a little bit more mineralic out of it, fruit. It's basically an experiment, you know, and I think being in Napa and being constant competition, you always need to come up with new ideas and you know, see what your wine is doing in different kind of areas. So for example, using concrete or stainless steel or wood allows you to figure out what fits the best with your grape. So we have never done it before, we're just trying it, and so basically if we like it, we might just keep it separate, or we might just blend it in together with the other. It's just learning about your wine.
Right. You can see the tank breeze. Yeah.
That's, you know, cement, actually concrete was used 100 years ago, and then it went out of fashion, and now you can buy those little tanks for, I don't know, $15,000 to $20,000, one little cement tank, concrete tank. You know, in the old days, it was the cheapest way of building tanks was concrete. So that's what they used concrete for many years. And then they bought the stainless steel, very expensive, and now we're going back to concrete.
So here it seems like you kind of have a combination of old world and new world techniques in terms of winemaking.
Yes, absolutely.
Trying to use latest technology, but still have that kind of philosophy.
Old traditional.
Yeah, keeping old traditions alive. It's so fresh. Incredible how fresh.
I mean, it has some alcohol already. You think it's a juice, but you have a glass of two, you will feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, I like that. Gewürztraminer, I think, is great. And it doesn't have those, interesting enough, it doesn't have those floral notes yet, but they will come back. As soon as fermentation is over, I think they will come back. Quite beautiful. This is developing nicely.
9.8 bricks right now.
Nice.
Started out 24, halfway through, a little more than halfway through. Yeah, beautiful. This could be dangerous drinking it right now because it's like drinking like punch.
You keep knocking it back. I don't know if you have that in America, but we in Austria we have a wine called Sturm. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's exactly what it is. You drink the wine that is half fermented, it's sweet, and it's exactly in that stage. The danger is, you know, when you sell the bottles, and I think you could never do it here because it's still fermenting. So if you put a cork, the bottle would explode. So you buy the wine on markets, you have to buy them outside with a little foil on top, but it needs to be open because the wine is fermenting while it's sold. You basically sell fermented wine. and you sell it in the fall. It's only available for 4 weeks, and yeah, it's great.
FDA would never let you do that here.
I don't think so either. No, you would be in trouble. And then the liability, oh my God.
Yeah.
You have to sign a bottle and say, oh, if the bottle explodes, you know, if the bottle explodes, it's your fault. Give you a glass full of your face. So I don't think that will work.
No. I like the idea though.
I guess me too. I guess that's why never anyone tried it here. I have never seen one try.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is wonderful. So that's what we're doing. We're drinking Sturm here, but now
we should go to the caves now.
Let's go to the caves. Yes,
right.
Let's go. That's it.
Okay. So now we're down in the caves.
In the caves, yes.
And we're going to do a little barrel sample. And just out of curiosity, how many barrels are there?
We have never actually counted it, but I would estimate around 1,500 to 2,000. Yeah. And caves are actually the perfect way of storing wines. It's a natural climate. There's no air conditioning here, no humidifier. It's just ideal for the wooden barrels to store here. And we keep the wine usually up to 18 to 20 months in here.
So it feels like it's kind of mid-50s in here.
Yes,
50s,
yeah.
5s.
And all year round, it's actually the same temperature. It's around 50, 58 degrees all year round.
That's incredible.
So we're tasting here 2010, which is very young. It's only, that wine was only here for 11 months now. It's going to stay another 9-10 months. It's called Il Barone 2010. So it's very young, but 2010 was a spectacular year for us. I can
That's
really
great.
say.
So what blend is this?
That is Cabernet, Merlot, and a little Petit Verdot.
Petit Verdot?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And what we like about 2010, it's so fruit forward, it's very, very lush, very opulent, and it's really drinkable. I mean, if you drink it now, you would never taste in a blind tasting that this is a 2010.
Yeah, I like it has a little bit of funk, a little bit of funkiness to it on the nose, which I actually like, a little earthiness.
It's very rich, very opulent. I think it's probably going to be our best Cabernet we ever made, Il Barone. And it was pre-blended already, so we basically, what we did is, usually what we do is we ferment the wines and we store them separately in separate barrels, and then we actually blend them together after the 20 months. In this case, since we already know what kind of wine blend goes together in Barone, we actually do what's called an early blending. So we blend the amount of Petit Verdot, the same Cabernets, and the same Merlot that we usually use for that wine already inside. So this is already blended. This is already more or less the perfect blend.
I see. So when you do the blends here, do you treat all the barrels the same, or do you do different treatments and then kind of see how they go? And then
well, not only different treatments, but you also you can see we use different barrels. We use only French oak, so his Nathalie, his wood, Tonnelier. So basically, every barrel has a different flavor. So the winemaker actually decides which wine goes in which barrel, and we have like usually 4 or 5 different kind of wood that we're using, and also different grades of toasting, for example. And then you can actually taste those wines, and then you decide what goes in that wine or what goes in that wine. To really come up with the best blend at the end of the day, you really have to taste every barrel. Not just saying, let's move all the Barone in. No, you taste every single barrel, and then only if it's really top quality, it goes in that final blend.
Wow. And what happens with the wine that doesn't make the cut? Do you make any lesser wines from that?
It goes in the regular Cabernet, and then also it has to do with quantity. You just don't want to do, since we sell all our wines direct, we don't sell in any restaurants.
So strictly club?
Yeah, strictly clubs, strictly people come and see us at the castle. So therefore we have different kind of wines. We do some single vineyards, and that doesn't mean that it's bad wine. It just means that it's not going in Barone.
Right. And
which is specialized of that special Cabernet blend actually. Some goes in Castellana, some goes in the Cabernet Napa Valley. So yeah.
Wow, that's really
There's no bad wine in here, so that's.
No, I wouldn't think so. Wow, this is wonderful.
Yeah. No, we're very excited about it. I think it's going to be a great year for us, 2010.
That's awesome.
I want you to taste another wine that's right over there in the cellar. It's called Don Thomas. It's a small vineyard. We only make 300 cases, and the first time in 2010, and it shows already very well. So let's go and
let's
taste
do it.
All right.
So what is this we're going to try now?
This is a small vineyard actually. It's called Don Thomas. It's in Rutherford. It's a beautiful vineyard. It's all hillside, the whole vineyard. And in 2010, the first time we decided to do a small amount of it as a single vineyard. Single vineyard means that all the grapes come from that specific vineyard. So this is 2010, and what we usually do is 3 months after harvest, we're tasting all the different blocks, different cabernets we have. And one wine that really stuck out, that we really were very impressed with in 2010 was Tom Thomas. So we decided to make it as a single vineyard, so we fermented it all separate and keep it separate. And our intention is to make 4 wine club members, 300 cases, a special wine. And
Rutherford's really cab territory.
Yes, it is. It's great, and especially the hillside, west side, is really showing extremely well.
Nice and nice on
I mean, again, it's very similar to Barone, where you say it's not. It's very fruit forward, nice cherries, nice chocolate, mocha. I think it's just very well balanced with the acids, so I think that wine will do extremely well for long aging, actually.
I love the chocolate components in this wine. It really comes through with the cherries.
It's amazing.
And the oak.
Yeah, I love that wine. So I think we're all excited. We're selling it already. Before it even ever went in a bottle, I think we sold already 20 cases of that wine. So we have to stop now, because otherwise it's going to be sold out before we ever release it. So.
It is sold on barrel tastings, bringing people down here in this state.
Absolutely. People are so excited about it, and that they actually buy the wine before it's released, which is very smart, because I can tell that wine, we offer it now for $79, but I think it will be closer to 100 once it's going to be released, actually.
So it's almost like buying futures, like people do with Bordeaux and Burgundy, buying the wine before it's
actually exactly the same. And I have to say, from my own experience, I love that. Every year, usually the Bordeaux, they ship you 2.5, 3 years later, you get the wines in the spring, right, in April. So you have to pay up front, which really hurts at the beginning, because you pay, you don't get anything for it. But then every year in April, you get like 10 cases of wine, and it's like, wow, what I'm getting this year. So I love that. So and I guess a lot of people following that routine. So we do the same thing. We send out wines in April, we ship out our wines.
That's great.
All right. I think one more wine we have to taste. We have to go downstairs and taste the Ipacito 2010.
Oh, I'm excited for that. We'll be right back.
Here we are in Grand Barrel Room, and we're going to taste Ipacito 2010, which is a wine that is made out of 70, 60, 40, a Sauvignon Blanc and Sauvignon Blanc.
It's a sweet dessert wine.
Yes, very sweet dessert wine. It's our black sweet dessert wine. This wine is now in here for around 10, 11 months. Wow. And it will stay another 10 to 12 months in here, and then it goes in the bottle, and it will stay in the bottle for another 2 to 3 years, hopefully even longer, before we release it.
And this is new French oak that
Yes.
you're doing it in?
We use only for the Ipacito, we use only new French oak. And you will see, you can smell the toastiness of those wines actually in the wine, especially when they're young, after 10, 11 months.
Oh yeah.
And that wine has a shelf life of maybe 20, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because a lot of people don't really think that California white wines, dessert or otherwise, have really much ageability. So when you say that kind of, I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that.
That's what they thought in '76 about the Chardonnays, didn't they? And then they learned the lesson.
That's right.
So I think you put that wine in any tasting with French sauternes, I think it will do extremely well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very well balanced. It has the same aromatic, and it is. I think it is the balance between alcohol, sugar, and acidity that really makes that wine age well. And I think you can even taste after 10 months, you can see that this wine is already very well balanced. So we think that has at least 20, 30 years of shelf life.
Yeah, good acid to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's delicious. So, I think, is that it for us today?
Yes.
It's our last stop.
Oh, we have more barrels if you like, but I guess that's a good start.
Okay, cool. Well, George, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
I feel very humbled to have me here.
Thank you so much for coming. We enjoyed it.
Thank you. And until next time, you guys, cheers.
Thanks
Take
a
care.
lot.